Hey guys, Brent Hull Build Show, talking today about stairs. I'm going to challenge you that the stairs that you're building are the same stairs we've been building for over 80 years. I want to show you how to use historic precedent to break the mold on your stair projects today in the Build Show. Last time the stair video we did was really traditional stairs, and was showing the difference between Georgian and federal stairs, and hopefully you've watched that and kind of can see the difference. Hopefully you've seen some similarities between the things that they were building back then and maybe some of the things that you've built. Today we're going to go forward. We're going to go from the 1860s up to today and talk about stairs and how they changed and what they look like. I am usually, after doing this survey and reading all these books, so I've got 1860 here, and then I've got 1942 here, and all in between. I've done a survey and I've been surprised because typically I am critical of the Victorian era, way too much over the top. But in particular for stairs, there's never been a more inventive, creative time, and the crazy things they did with stairs were often quite fun. This is a baluster from a courthouse we did here in Texas. It was a historic courthouse, 1880s. It's broken, that's why we got to keep it. But you've got a turning with very crisp edges. We've got a fluted, tapered edge. It's dovetailed. So see this bottom part, it's dovetailed so it'd slide into the tread. Kind of a bunch of good lessons here, a bunch of good things to think about, but certainly something that you don't see in the catalogs today. The first catalog I have starts in the 1860s, and it's not really a millwork catalog. Millwork catalogs don't show up until about the 1890s. So what you have is pattern books. And if we look at these stairs from this period, you see things you probably don't see today, right? You see very embellished, very decorative pieces of wood, almost pieces of furniture. You have inlaid wood, you have fine turnings, you have carving, all a part of this entry newel from this period, 1860s, up into the 1890s. So what's also happened in this Victorian period is you see the octagonal newel, okay? And then that's the newel that's kind of broken into a number of different parts, has been turned sometimes, or has been made in 8 parts. Very popular, very appropriate. And again, guys, the way my mind works is that these are all period elements that when I see them today, I go, oh, that's a Victorian newel, because it shows up and is so popular in this era. The 1870s catalogs, you begin to see that crazy carving and that crazy detail. Look at that lion on top of that newel, right, in the carving that goes up. Carving is something that we look at today as being very untouchable, certainly hand carving. In the 1800s, when so many immigrants were coming over from Europe, carving was not a challenge, okay? There was hundreds of carvers in New York, on the East Coast that were coming in through Ellis Island that had the skill, were working in these millwork shops and could produce this stuff very easily. So it's not over the top for them to be able to do these things. This was just a way for them to express themselves. The 1890 catalog, produced by actually Rand McNally, was a published catalog with a lot of different companies that would put their logo on the thing. But this catalog is full of incredible stair designs and incredible stair details. Manufacturing is really industrialized by the 1870s, so by the 1890s they can do anything. And so you see these turning designs. Look at these newels here. Look how elaborate and beautiful they are with inset, burled and carved details inside these things. They're many pieces of furniture. The number and quantity of balusters, okay? I've looked at some millwork catalogs even today that have 8 balusters. Here's a collection of turn balusters, square balusters, carved balusters, all kinds of different things that were showing up then that are, just crazy. I mean, there's 8 pages of different handrails and different handrail types. There's so much design and detail here. It's wonderful. Starting in about 1908, and they use this catalog, this is an E.L. Roberts catalog from Chicago, the industry begins to standardize, okay? And from 1908 up into 1920, 1930, when it becomes to stagnate a little bit, you see different designs and different details. It's a holdover from the Victorian, where you'll still see some carvings and still see some details, but it's exuberant, right? There's less handrails, there's less balusters, there's less quantity of design. At the time, they were really trying to ride that line between Victorian and arts and crafts, and things were changing, but it begins to get boring. Now, some of the things that I see that are done today on new stairs have been in these catalogs since 1908. And the problem is you get to 1942, okay, and this is the Colonial Revival catalog, you begin to see things in there that are exactly from our catalogs today. So when you look at our catalogs today, and you know, they give you this kind of thing here where they're showing you your different parts, and you are picking from a catalog, guys, picking from a list of parts, and your projects can begin to look stale and boring, okay, because everybody's following this formula. I need a volute, I need a lift up, a gooseneck, I need a baluster, I need a landing, okay? What has happened is we forgot the craziness that we can do and the fun things that we can do with stairs. And so realize that this 1942 catalog, the goosenecks and everything else, are the exact same that I see in this catalog I just printed off for this video. There's nothing, that's 80 years of design, and we're still doing the same things. What I want to do is I want to show you a couple of our projects, how we got inspired and what we did, and how we made our projects better, I think, by changing the newel, introducing cool brackets, playing with the balusters, and you know, making our jobs better. A lot of opportunity, guys, right? This would be my first example. This is a stair that we did for a job in Montana, a cabin up there. There was a furniture designer in the 20s named Molesworth, okay? What he did was he used burled fir to create unique pieces of furniture, very Western style things. You're still able to buy burled fir, and burled fir is a fir that has a growth on it like this down here that kind of gives it a distinct character. So this is burled fir newel, right? So you walk in the front door of this house and this stair really commands the entrance, and this is a simple rustic way, right, to communicate the ideal of the home. And that's what the great thing about stairs can do, is they are, you know, communicative, and they show off craftsmanship, right? They show off our abilities as craftsmen to do things and to communicate. The thing that's great about stairs, guys, is that you are missing an opportunity to show off your skills and show off your craftsmanship if you're just buying off-the-shelf parts. Introducing new things, introducing new designs like this, you know, will make you better. So another inspiration, right, would be European things. We're really talking about American stuff, but there is a European ideal, and that's kind of where this stair design came from. This is a classical stair, okay, that you would see sometimes in Europe in stone, that we have actually redone in oak, okay? So we've taken solid beam material, which you see here, antique beam material, and then these things are mortise and tenon together. Now, I got this idea because I went to a salvage yard in France and I saw these French stair parts laying on the ground, and I was realizing that this is how they made that stair originally. We've got this classical detail here done in rustic oak, okay? And then when you do that and then you go up the stairs, right? The angle of these things, right, was really challenging to make because you've got to cut straight this way and then cut down and make all these joints work. So this was a very challenging stair. In fact, I told the story before that we showed up with these parts on the job, and the stair guy who had been doing stairs for 20 years kind of looked at us and was like, what am I supposed to do with this? We walked him through the process and everything else, and when he finished, he was like, that was the funnest thing I've ever done. Can we work more together, because I would love to keep building stairs like this. Challenging yourself with things like this, building things, makes you a better craftsman. You'll have more fun at work, guys. Another project we did was a Chippendale stair. Chippendale's a furniture designer. Chinoiserie, which is Chinese design, okay, was really popular during the Georgian era. There was a kind of a fretwork in some of their grills and some of their porches and things, which becomes this Chinese Chippendale or Chinese fretwork. That is the fretwork that makes up this staircase. Now, what we did was we had a client who really wanted a staircase with that Chippendale design. And you'll notice that first run there is broken up into 3 parts, and we've got a really custom newel. So it looks maybe more complicated than it is, but we built the 3 panels at the shop along with the 2 legs that support those panels, and then we focused on the newel. Now the newel is kind of a Japanese pagoda hat, which we made at the shop. We carved the little ends. We did carving, but there's not a lot of carving in this. You'll see the Chippendale design in the throat there. We looked at historic pattern books. We looked at historic things to kind of come up with the design. And then the last thing we focused on was that bracket. This was an existing set of stairs that we did this to. So we didn't have a lot of room with new treads and everything else. So we've got a very thin bracket that we've got on the edge there with this Chinese design that really makes that entry space, really makes that super special. And so there we are, focusing and breaking out the different parts to really create something that's unique and different. And then finally, maybe if you can just focus on one thing. In this house, which was a Victorian-esque house, we really wanted to do a magnificent stair newel. And I don't know if you saw our video on the Gothic Revival, but this house had a stair. This was a new house, and we built this very historic Victorian stair newel that was gigantic. It's like 16 by 16. In fact, it was big enough that we could actually put a dollhouse in it for the daughter. But we created one of those Victorian elements, right? So that they could have this distinctive, wonderful design that really worked. The point of this video is for you to break out of the mold, building things that show off your craftsmanship and show off your ability. And you can do it in just 4 areas if you think of the newel. Can you come up with a better design newel? Can you do something custom? Can you build something that looks unique and wonderful? Look at the brackets on the stairs. Brackets are something we're not using much anymore, and it should be something that can really communicate a Greek Revival or Victorian or whatever you're trying to do. That's another area. Again, not a huge expense, not hard to do, but something that can make your stairs distinctive. Think about the balustrades. Try not to order off-the-shelf balusters, okay? Try to get something custom. We can get balusters turned for $20 to $30, okay? And going online today before this video, I know you can pay $6 for a baluster. Don't pay $6 for a baluster, guys. Pay $20 for a baluster. Get something unique and different. Find something that can make your design distinctive and do something special. All right, guys, so that's that's historic stairs, right? We did Georgian and Federal. Now we've done Victorian up to today. Hopefully you get some good ideas. Hopefully you can look to the past for great ideas of how to build and improve yourself, okay? Improve your craftsmanship, raise the bar, break the mold with your stairs. Send me photos when you get it done. I'd love to see, I'd love to follow along with you. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Home Millwork, Hull Homes. Sign up for the newsletter. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.